Welcome back to Vintage Steel Garage. Today we're going to be working on a BMW 320 Touring. So I've not done a video for a while, but that's not mean I've not been working on cars. It's just the weather's been a bit inclement outside, so if I have been working on them, I've just been trying to get them fixed and move on to the next one. So I thought I'll take an opportunity with this one to show a bit of work I've been doing on this BMW 320 Touring. It's the E91, so that's what, 2006 to about 2012 I think, maybe related to other people. Yeah, had a bit of problem with it for a while. It started probably September last year, where an injector was periodically shutting down. So stripped it down, resulted in replacing 2 injectors, put it back together, still wasn't running quite right. I've replaced a 3rd injector, so we've got 3 injectors replaced now. It's running right now. While I had all the injectors out and the inlet manifold off, took the opportunity to replace all the glow plugs, because glow plugs 1 and 4 were never working, so in the winter it was always a bit lumpy to start. Well, what I've done now is I've replaced all 4 injectors. However, it's now coming up with faults injectors 1, 2, 3 and 4. So I believe what's happened now is it's probably the next stage in there's what's called a glow plug relay box, and I thought, well, I'll do a video on this because I'm going to take it out and I'm going to see if I can actually repair it rather than replace it, because if it was just take a box out, undo a connector, put a new one in, it'd be a bit of a dull video. So let's see if we can actually fix it, save ourselves some money, and obviously we're not waiting for the part to arrive. So that is where it's located. Where the light is on there, you can just see a cable tie on the right and then like a rubber boot. I've got to get my hand in there to get it off. I don't know what they think. They must think we all have arms like a flamingo that will bend every way. So I've got to try and make a bit of room by pulling some of these hoses out of the way and see if I can get my hand in there, but it looks like certainly going to be scuffed hands getting that out, but let's see what we can do. So I thought what I'd do first of all is just show you on here the actual fault code, to see if you've got a similar thing. So I say what I did have is I had injectors 1 and 4 not working. When I got the injectors out, replaced all 4 injectors, it was pretty clear that 1 and 4 weren't burnt out on the end. But now I've put new injectors in, I'm fairly confident I've got injectors 1 to 4 failed, which is unlikely. All 4 new injectors are going to fail. So what we have to then assume is, what's the next thing up from that? Well, the next thing up from that is this injector relay box. And if you Google that, it doesn't take much Googling. I mean, the power of Googling nowadays, it's amazing, isn't it? It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much interrogation on the internet nowadays to find out that. So it's just scanning through all the various systems now. There, telling us if it's clear or faulty. It will show up a fault on the engine. Yeah, so it doesn't take long now to go through and find out if you know what you're looking for. So I just basically put BMW glow plug relay. They come up, they're about £100 new to buy, and then someone on eBay was offering a service to repair them. So then you think, oh hello, it's repairable, what can you do? And what it seems to happen is you seem to get the contacts, the little wires burn out that go between the plug and the circuit board. Basically it says they're aluminium wires, and they're sort of like spot welded onto the board and onto the pins, and I think they can't take the current that's going through it and eventually burn out. So what people have done is opened the boxes and then soldered new wires on. So yeah, I've got there now, you can see it's saying fault on the engine management. So if we take a look at this and interrogate this now, so it's saying 4 faults have been recorded. Just taking a while to pull the data out. Right, so first one is glow plug cylinder 1, glow plug cylinder 2, glow plug cylinder 3. Should we guess what the first 4th fault is? Glow plug cylinder 4. So there, let's see if we'll zoom in on that. Yeah, so if you just go through that, yeah, you got glow plug 1, glow plug 2, glow plug 3 and glow plug 4 fail. So as I say, it's very unlikely you're going to get 4 glow plugs to fail simultaneously, especially having just replaced them. More likely this box has failed. So anyway, I'm going to get this box off. I've shown you where it is. It does look like we're going to get scuffed hands, so I don't think I'm going to be able to get the camera in there while I'm extracting it, but it's 2 plugs to come off and then 2 screws holding it on, and it's a block about that big, a black plastic block with the 2 connectors on. We then need to cut into it and have a look inside, so that's the interesting bit I want to get to, where I think that's going to help people out. So let's get the box off and I'll come back to you. So just on the strip down process, I've managed to get a lot better access to this plug now, and you can see with the yellow band I've managed to get the 2 plugs out. And how I've increased this access basically is, the first thing I did was remove the header tank. It was just 2 screws, one here, M10, sorry, not M10 bolts, M6 bolts, 10mm head, took those out. And then there was an auxiliary pump, which you can see I've pushed down there. That pump there, it's like an electronic auxiliary water pump. It was located in 3 rubber grommets here. It just slid up and out the way, and then I've just cable tied this aircon pipe hose out the way. So now I've got to get, it's still 2 bolts on the underside of this going up, and I think they're like a Torx fitting from what I can feel, so I might have to get a mirror under and have a look, but hopefully it should be on the bench soon. Okay, so interestingly it wasn't as hard as I thought. I've now got the module off. Here's the module. Now this is located upside down like that, let's call it upside down. So you've got the power socket there and the connection to the glow plugs there. Now it's held on by 2 bolts. It only had a bolt at this end, so that tells me someone's been here before, and also there's oil on there and it wasn't that tight. So the other thing is, if you look here, there's 1 connection in there that which is a positive, so obviously it's using the body as a negative. So I'm also wondering, did it have a bad earth which was causing it not to work? So we've got it on the bench now. As I say, it could be the fact that this was not earthed properly, but I've decided, since I've taken the effort to take it off, it'd be rude not to break into it. Now the way to get into it, it's a sealed item. As I say, what I could do, I could just assume it's this, fault find by replacing parts. These are between 60 and £180. Sorry, these are between 60 and about 150. So let's call it an average of £100 for one of these. You can buy them second hand, but you don't know what you're buying. But if you just go willy-nilly replacing parts, you sort of £100 here, £100 there. Before you know it, you spend a lot of money on a car. So we don't want to do that. We want to try and see if we can fix things. Just part of the fun really of seeing if we can fix it for very little money. So what we're going to do is open this box up, and we're going to have to cut into this lid here and then see what these connections are like. So let's get ourselves set up for that. So what I just need to do now is cut through the sides. I've done 2 sides already, so I'm just heating a knife up so I can actually just trace it through the plastic. I've done that side and I've done that side. I've just got these 2 sides left to do. It's just a case of heating the blade. And so gently getting it to melt its way through. It does take a couple of applications per side. Is actually looking very good. So now I'm in here, I think this is actually okay, because it's these wires here that break away from the circuit board, and this is looking good. So I'm wondering if my issue was a bad earth, that these weren't tight. So I actually think this is good to go. What I've done is I just checked out the continuity with a multimeter here. So I just basically checked out every contact. So for example, just go through the gel there, and onto the end. So I know I've got continuity. So I'm pretty happy with that. Or maybe I do have, I've managed to buy 4 bag glow plugs. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this, which I actually bought for a mobile phone, but it's like a black silicone glue. You can get it off Tinternet. So it's just a small amount. I'm just going to put it around this edge here to just glue this back together. So this lid is bonded back on now, and that's nice and waterproof again. So what I'm going to do is basically clean these areas up so I can get a good earth, because I'm wondering if that is the issue now. Right, I've cleaned these contact points up here now, so they're there, and on the inside, and as like I say, there's only one nut holding it on, so I'm just going to check the chassis where this fastens to back to the battery is good, and then bolt this back on and see how it performs. So that's a good view of it back on there. So you've got the power socket there and the long socket there for the glow plugs. So you can see it's pretty deep down in the engine. I'm just going to clear the fault codes that we had for the 4 glow plugs, run a diagnostic again, and just see if we're getting basically a clear fault before we try starting it. Right, it's come back straight away. Seem to be struggling to clear this. They're just not clearing. Right, I'm going to try starting it, see what it starts like. May have to do more investigation, which is sort of what I thought, to be honest. Now that was lumpy as hell. Right, we're going to have to do some more. Let's get the engine cover off and have a look at these glow plugs. Maybe these 4 glow plugs are defective. I put in. Surprised. Anyway. Cover off, more work.
2 hours later.
So this has escalated quickly. We've ended up having the inlet manifold off, all the top of the engine off, and all the glow plugs out, because I believe it's the new glow plugs I fitted. These are the old glow plugs with the red band on the top, and these are marked Bosch. Now these were about £30 or £40 each. These ones with the black on the top, these were something like £20 for 4. So I sort of had my suspicions. So let me show you how we need to test these. So to test them, it's very simple. You basically just need a meter, which I'll put like that so you can read it. Basically set to ohms, so you can see if I short these 2 contacts out, that goes to 0, and what we're looking for is about 1 to 1.5 ohm. Now we'll test the original ones first. Now originally I did have 2 injectors, originally I did have 2 glow plugs that weren't working, so 2 of these should pass and 2 of them should fail. So let's show you. Put 1 on the body, basically either side of that insulator, and 1 on the top where the electrical probe would be. So that's going to read 1. That's going to read 1. That's reading overload. That's reading overload. So we just put those to one side. So the first 2 passed, the other ones didn't. These 4 now. Body, pin, overload. Body, pin, overload. Body, pin, overload. Body, pin, overload. So none of those have worked. So the next way to test them, and it's a bit more fun, is if you've got a spare 12 volt battery, and basically we should see them glowing. So if we just get a lead here onto the positive, basically a wire onto the top, earth the body down, the bottom's going to glow. So you see that's glowing, so that's the first one that we tested okay. That's glowing. Make sure I don't set fire to my bench. Second one, that's glowing. Put that one down. Now these shouldn't work. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. And just show you one of the new ones. That doesn't work either. So we're back to where we were. 2 working glow plugs, 2 not working. I just need to test them in the car now. I need to buy 2 replacement glow plugs. I'm going to buy the correct Bosch ones. And I just want to test these on the top of the engine. See if I can get them to glow like I just did on the battery there. Right, I'm going to give you now the best tip in the world for working on cars. It'll save you a fortune. Basically, when you get to a difficult point, stop, go and have a cup of tea, have your lunch, have a sit down, have a think about it, and think it through. Now, we were diagnosing 4 glow plugs defective, a module defective, we were pulling it all apart and all the rest of it. Let's think back, wind back. Before I replaced the injectors, I had 2 glow plugs working, 2 not working. So we went through all the checks with the glow plugs, checked the resistance of them, and that confirmed again 2 of them were good, 2 of them were bad. The 4 new ones are all bad. So let's go back to that. Let's have a think about that module. I had that big lead. It was a power lead. It went back to a power terminal on the starter motor. Guess what? I've disconnected the power, haven't I? So I caused myself an own goal. On a BMW, there's a power lead that goes from there. Let me see if I can hang this up on something. Right, there's a power from here, which I've now reconnected, that goes all the way over to the starter motor, that then goes into the glow plug box. So I've checked the wiring back to the glow plugs. I've fastened up one glow plug here, which I know is a known good one. Got the wire on it there and the earth back to the contact. Now of course your glow plugs are not going to light or ignite all the time, and the reason they're not is because obviously if the temperature is good, they're not needed. So what you do, you take off that connection down there. Can you see that connection off just below the glow plug hole? That is the temperature. So the engine now thinks it's minus 40 degrees. So I'm thinking it's minus 40 degrees. It's going to make the glow plugs work. So what we're going to do now, and the glow plugs will light for about 20 seconds if it's cold enough. Got the glow plug connected up there with the earth lead, with the positive lead. What I'm going to do, as I say, the thermostat is disconnected, so it thinks it's minus 40. Let's just turn the ignition on, and hopefully that is going to glow. Oh yes, look at that glow. Look at that glow. Now then, so that should glow for about 20 seconds, then go off. Yes. So what I'm going to do is a belt and braces. I'm going to test the other glow plug, make sure that works. I just need 2 glow plugs and no box. Okay, so I've just got the second one strapped up just there. You can just see there. Let's try the ignition and see what that does. Yes, so that's working as well. So basically 2 good glow plugs, so all I need is 2 glow plugs and we're back in the business. Excellent. So I think we'll conclude this episode there. This car nearly had us over, didn't it? We were nearly buying 4 glow plugs, new glow plug relay, various other things. In fact, I was there nearly buying a new car. So I'm glad. Like I say, best tip ever. Stop, think about it, go back to the original fault, think what it is, do a bit of research. Proved that we're okay. We've got the original glow plug relay box back on, so that saved us £100. I need 2 glow plugs, and the the other tip is, don't buy cheap eBay glow plugs. Buy the proper Bosch glow plugs. So I'm going to buy 2 Bosch glow plugs, replace those in the next episode, so I'm going to order those now. I'm also going to order a turbo as well, actually, because it's decided to start eating its engine oil. So it's actually passing engine oil through the turbo, through the intercoolers, and it's munching its way through the new engine oil that we replaced probably 3 weeks ago. So tune in for the next episode. Please like, and whatever it is you do, click like, subscribe, whatever. Of course you don't have to. So I'm going to order some glow plugs and a turbo cartridge to go in like we did on the EcoBoost. So that'll be coming up in the next episode soon. So bye for now. Thank you for watching.